UFC Vancouver, Ridder versus Allen. It was supposed to be Fluffy Hernandez, but Brendan Allen comes in on short notice, and this is on Ageless Talk Sports podcast, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe for all my latest content. That subscribe thing's pretty sweet. Comment if you like it. I just got that one a couple weeks ago. So, real quick show. I'm going to drop it on a podcast, stuff like that. Check me out on YouTube, all that. If you like Ohio State football, I do some highlights and go on a pre-game show and everything. So, make sure you subscribe to that as well. We're going to take a look at BetMGM like we did last week. And then we're going to make some bets on there. And then we're going to take a look at the main card. And we're just going to do probably a 5-legger, maybe only 4. So on this card, we have some strengths and risks for the card at UFC Vancouver. It is multiple meaningful fights with potential ranking implications. Now, there are a lot of Canadian fighters on this, which is a good local appeal here. So there's Canadian fighters that will boost the interest and the atmosphere there in Vancouver. And if you see the background, I got actually like a Vancouver drone footage. It's really freaking cool. Vancouver's a really nice town, by the way. I've never been there, but it looks pretty sweet. Now, with the main event intrigue here, so De Ridder is on the rise in the UFC, and Allen is stepping in, which adds unpredictability, as we would think. But I was really hoping for Fluffy Hernandez in this one. I really was. I think he's hurt or anything, or something like that in his camp. He got hurt, got an illness or something like that. I really don't know 100%. I didn't look really in the details, but I think he got injured. So he's going to be out for a little bit. But what do you think Fluffy fights next? Who do you think Fluffy fights next? The winner of this one? Some other fight? Does he fight at the UFC White House for next year? I don't know. So there's an opponent change. We just talked about that. So Brendan Allen's coming in, and he wasn't originally scheduled. Like we said, Fluffy was. So which can throw off the preparation for De Ridder. So I like to see Brendan Allen's ground game. We're going to talk about this fight in the main card here in a second, so be ready. So keep listening. Now we got some wear and tear. Now Kevin Holland, he's a fighter that already has multiple fights so far this year. The dude is game. He's always game. He's always ready. Hopefully he doesn't burn out on his diminishes. But an upset alert here. Cards with rising prospects tend to have volatility. Predictions are less certain. So who knows what's going to happen if you're going to go with the rising prospects. Maybe go against the rising prospects. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the Manon Fiorot, if that's how you say it, and then Jasmine Jasudavicius, something like that. Gosh, I can't bosh their name up. But the female fighters and the women's flyweight. So Fiorot, it might be Fiorot. Fiorot is a former title challenger, top tier interdivision. I've watched both of these fighters fight. I just botched the names up really bad. So Fiorot is a pretty a beast. I think she did lose to the girl from Middletown, Ohio, right here down the street. It's only like 30 minutes away. Kayla Harrison. And then Jasudavicius is on a surge and getting this opportunity to upset. And whoever wins this fight is probably going to be going into the flyweight title contention, which is my expectations. So Fiorot has a dangerous edge, but Jasudavicius is dangerous as well, and she can submit you rather quickly on the ground if it goes there. Let's take a look. Give me Jasmine with the upset. I'm going with Jasmine. Hopefully, we just talked about the young and up and comers probably not going to be good to pick them, but I didn't do the BetMGM here. Sorry about that. So according to BetMGM, Fiorot and Jasmine's at a plus 200, and we're going to go ahead and do the legger here. I think it's only going to be a 4-legger. I've been told to stop doing 5 legs because I always lose them. So we might just do a 2 or 3 legger, but I'm going to do a 4 one right here just to see what the price is on this. We're going with a Canadian. So on the first fight, I think it might be Gibson on the main card. Is the Gibson or is it Nelson on the main card? I'm not sure. It might be Nelson. So it's Nelson and Frivola, the Canadian versus American, if you want to pick that. Now, that is a pick'ems. Who knows? Gibson is a minus 185 for the next fight versus a Chinaman at plus 150. Probably can't say Chinaman, but I did anyway. I don't care. So, Fiorot versus Jasmine. This is the fight that I'm going to be picking. So, Fiorot's actually at a minus 250. If Jasmine can take her down and keep her down, she wins this fight via decision. But I'll be surprised if she does get a finish. It might just go a decision. So at a plus 200, I got my monies on Jasmine. Now you got Vera and Zahabi. So Manon or Marlon Vera versus Aiemann Zahabi in the bantamweight fight. Now Vera is returning after a long layoff, though. He was 14 months off and is trying to reestablish himself in the bantamweight division. Now, Zahabi is riding a 6-fight winning streak, and he is a dangerous opponent, especially with momentum and home support. Now, this could be a live fight. If Vera isn't sharp, Zahabi may capitalize. Did I say Zahabi? It's Zahabi. So, I don't know who to pick on this one. This one's going to be tough. But according to the BetMGM, we're going to take a look at this. Vera is at a plus 110. And we're going to be pretty close. Zahabi, the Canadian, is at a minus 135. We're going to go Canadians. Do you think we should pick a all-Canadian card on this one? But there's 2. So there's your 2 on your 4-legger if you decide to do a 4-legger. Jasmine and Zahabi, back-to-back Canadian wins. Now, this is the one that gets interesting with Kevin Holland and Mike Mallott. Are you ready for this? Let's take a look at the fights. This is your co-main event of the night at welterweight. Holland, like we talked about, is very active. How many fights has he fought so far this year? I will tell you, 5. 5 fights so far in 2025. He might even make it 6, depending if he comes out of here unscathed. So Mallott comes in with momentum and a huge, big-time crowd advantage, obviously, in Vancouver. So the odds slightly favor a minus 125 Malott, but Holland is right there at a plus 105. We're going to look at the BetMGM as well. So on the predictions, they have Malott by decision or late stoppage, but some predictions have Holland via knockout, but the risk is much riskier. So I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb here. I'm taking Kevin Holland. Now, I don't know. I can't see what the bet is on the finish. Will we be able to do it? Let me look at it real quick and see here while we're talking about it. Method of victory for Kevin Holland, it's actually only at plus 325. So for Holland for a KO, TKO, or disqualification, I don't know if we even do that disqualification. It's at a plus 325 for Kevin Holland. Give me that. That's actually pretty nice. That's not too bad. So if you want to double down on this fight, which I might, you're going to have to go with Kevin Holland, which he's actually favored here. It's a pick'ems, though, minus 105 and a minus 115 for both 2 of these fighters, but Holland is minus 105. Now, if you want to go ahead and do that 4-legger that I'm talking about, which I'm going to do here, and we're going to talk about this at the end of the show, how much money you're going to get back on just this 4-legger, which is pretty good. It's actually at $100 right now on $10. And then if you want to go ahead and do that plus 325 for the KO for Kevin Holland, go ahead and do so, because I believe that's going to happen. Kevin Holland usually comes in pretty crazy, and he might actually come in Vancouver just to make a statement win. I think he's going to get it. If Mallott tries to take him to the ground, I think Holland's really lanky for him. He might cause problems on his back. So I'm just letting you know that. Now, who's ready for the main event of the evening? I know I am ready. So far, we're going to recap this real quick. We got Jasmine at a plus 200. Zahabi, the Canadian, they go back-to-back at a minus 135. Zahabi. And then we're picking Kevin Holland, the American. The American needs to get a win in the main card, which they will with Kevin Holland. And then it's de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. And this is going to be a tough one for me, because I actually have Brendan Allen on this one. But I'm kind of teetering off and on De Ridder. If De Ridder can get his knees going, I'm telling you, let's go ahead and talk about this. Takes place at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. The card underwent a change. We talked about that already. Fluffy's out. Brendan Allen is in. And it's a high-stakes card with a big-time rankings here for the middleweight, bantamweight, and a flyweight. But we're talking about De Ridder and Allen in the middleweight division. Whoever wins this fight could possibly go to the championship and catapult themselves right in there. And Brendan Allen has a chance to do so. De Ridder is a submission specialist with strong grappling. We know that. And watch out for his knees to the body, bro, because he can take you down. Dude, I was really surprised with Robert Whittaker. They don't really look like they're doing anything. When you're watching a fight live, you see people do knees to the body or something, but it really doesn't look like it's that big a deal. I mean, obviously, it's going to hurt when you do that. But when De Ridder does it, it's just really impactful. I mean, you saw Robert Whittaker like wincing when you really don't ever see Robert Whittaker make any kind of facial expressions during a fight at all, even when he's hurt. He always has that stone cold face. But dude, when he got kneed that last couple times, you saw Robert Whittaker really kind of break there at the end where he kind of stopped him to try to take him out. But I think if it wasn't for those knees, I think Robert Whittaker could have got that win in the third. Some people said he did, but anyway, or in the fifth. But anyway, physical and statistical profile. De Ridder is 6'4" with a 70-inch reach. Allen's 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. So a little bit goes toward De Ridder on that. Now, in terms of striking, let's take a look at some stats here. As I'm going to read this because I don't know on the top of the dome piece. So De Ridder is significant strikes here at 2.95 per minute. And then his takedown accuracy is at 27.27%, which round up 28%. Well, 27%. Allen's significant strikes is a 3.85, so it's kind of quite higher, pretty much one punch per minute more than he does. And the takedown accuracy is at 41.18. So looking at just that, striking to takedown ratio, Brendan Allen actually has the advantage in that. No one's talking about that. That's a fun fact of the day. De Ridder had been preparing for Hernandez, but the last-minute opponent change can disrupt his game plans. Conditioning and later round durability could be a factor, though. So especially if Allen can drag the fight into deep waters. And watch out for the knees. I'm telling you, I bet you Brendan Allen's coach has been practicing with blocking knees and doing stuff with the knees the whole entire camp. But like I said, he's coming in on short notice. He had less time to prepare, not a full camp. But the betting odds here, we're going to take a look at this. This is off the Sportscast, if you look at that. Minus 195 for De Ridder. Some of it have at minus 210. We're going to take a look at BetMGM here in a second. But some analysts have De Ridder winning via submission is round 2 and 3, given his grappling pedigree. So some have him winning in the decision. Some have him winning in a submission in rounds 2 and 3. So look for that. We're going to talk about what the picks are on there on the BetMGM app and see what his odds are with the submission. Let's take a look at that here. So we're going to do De Ridder by submission. That's only a plus 175. So if you pick De Ridder via submission, it's only a plus 175. If you pick him by KO, it's a plus 350. Go ahead and try to do a decision. For Brendan Allen is a plus 650. Take that. That's good monies right there. Obviously, you're going to do multiple different bets on this fight. But if you're going to build a parlay and build yourself a method of victory, because there's 7 ways of doing so, that's the biggest one. So they really have it probably going down to a finish because Allen is at a plus 550, and that's big time odds. But then going to a decision as plus 650. And if you got De Ridder by decision, it's only a plus 350. So I'm going to go ahead and do Brendan Allen by submission plus 550. Let's get that done. And let's going back to take a look at the four-legger with Brendan Allen. We go back-to-back Americans to finish out Vancouver because we have, us Americans, we got to prove a point. We're going up in Canada, and we got to prove a point. $10 get you $285 on the four-leg parlay. Jasmine, Zahabi starting really strong with the Canadians, but Kevin Holland and Brandon Allen finish it out and derails de Ridder at a plus 180 for Brendan Allen. Gets the submission at a plus 550. Mark it down. Let's do it. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Love you guys. God bless. Tip the wagers.